ज्ञानानन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नम ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निधि नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यस्य कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. Welcome to the Sri Namastaka series of classes. We have been discussing, up till now, we have discussed text 5. Yesterday, we saw both text 5 and text 6. In text 5, it was mentioned the glory of the holy name, that even if somebody is Brahman realized or Paramatma realized, he has to, enjoy the prarabdha karma, bhoge, or he has to suffer the prarabdha karma. And whereas your names, Smurnena Eva, the devotee need not face his prarabdha karma. So that is the glory of your holy name. Understanding that, text 5 mentioned how I take, shelter of your different names. You have taken many forms. Agadamana, Yashoda, Nandana, Nandasuno, Gopi Chandra. And let my rati or attraction always increase to this different anek bahurupa, which you have taken in the form of our holy names. So that was the text 5, which we discussed yesterday's class. So today we will begin with text 6. Text 6 is also a very important text. Again, the glories of the holy name will be discussed. Now, as usual, Baldev Vidyabhushan in his commentary gives a flow of thought from one verse to another verse. He gives the connection, what is being, what is the connection between each of the verses. So he says, because in the previous verse it was mentioned that this is how merciful the Lord is, that he has taken these many forms like Agadamana. Let me develop my attraction towards it. Tvai mama ruchir ratir uchcher vartatam namadeha. So this is his causeless mercy that he has taken these different forms of different names. So now he says, Ati karunatvam te sputam aste atas tvam eva samshayami iti bhave naha vacham iti. That you are very merciful is clear. Ati karunatvam te spashta. Therefore, asti ataha tvam, I take complete shelter of you. Eva samshayami iti. Alone. With this in mind, iti bhavena, he states the text beginning Vacham iti. So, understanding the all-merciful nature of the name that has become very clear in the previous verse. So, I take more shelter of your name. And he begins with this verse. How we should take shelter of Nam, Vacham. This is also a very interesting verse. Vacham Vachakam ityudeति bhavato nam spuran svarupadvayam purvasmat param eva hanta karunam tatrapi janimahe yastasmin vihata paradame nivah prani samatad bhavet asenedam upasya sopihi sadanandam budo majjate. Vacham vachakametyudeti bhavato naam sparupadvayam purvasmat param eva hanta karunam tatrapi janimahe yastasmin vihita parad nivah prani samatad bhavet asyenedam upasya sopihi sadam budo majjati. Yeah, this is also a little different meter compared to the other text. This and text, I think text 3 are longer verses and they have a different meter. And again, Yad Abhaso Ap Udan Kavalito Bhav Dvanta Vibho. So both these are for a different meter, and I really don't know. But whatever I have, hearing in the Namashtaka recitation done, I'm just trying to recollect and, recite. Okay. O holy name Nama, your lordship has Udeti Bhavato, two forms. Swarupa Dvayam, you have taken two forms. The verbally expressible, Vacham, and the verbal expression, Vachakam, Iti. So, Vacha and Vachaka. Vacha, Vachakam, Vacham, Vachakam. So it is, called as Vacha and Vachaka. Now, this is a little technical you might find, but it is very simple, and the footnote will make it very clear. The verbally expressible and the verbal expression. Oh, Hanta, but we know that Jani Mahe, among them, Tatrapi, the later Param Eva, Param, Purva and Param. The Param means the Vachakam, is more compassionate, Karunam, than the former, Purvasmat. Indeed, he, even Api, that creature, Prani, who, yeah, might have, Bhavet, committed offenses, Vihit Aparad Nivaha, to the former, Tasmin, in every manner, Samantad, immerses Majjati into an ocean of spiritual bliss. Sadanandambudo, by washing Upasya so, the later Idam, with his mouth. Asena. So, verbally expressible is actually the person Krishna. And Krishna is incarnated in the form of his name. That is the verbal expression, the sound incarnation. So Krishna, the person, and Krishna, the sound incarnation. Both are non-different. First, you have to understand. Now, among the two, the sound incarnation of Krishna is more merciful. Because if you commit unlimited offenses, if you have committed offenses to the person Krishna, no problem. If you take shelter of Vachaka, that is Krishna in the form of sound incarnation, then you will be immersed in spiritual bliss. So that is the idea. So that is how merciful is Krishna in the form of sound incarnation. So here the footnote will make it very clear. Note, the holy name has two swarupas, forms or features, Vachya and Vachaka. How many of you are first time coming across these terms, Vachya and Vachaka? Raise your hands. Vachya and Vachaka. Oh, almost most of the devotees. Yes. Yes, this is a very important concept. And right in the beginning of our study of Bhagavad Gita, we should be, discussing these very important philosophical concepts. And Baldev Dayabhushan, Vishwanath Chakra Thakur, in their Gita commentaries, you can lower your hands, in their Gita commentaries, make it very, very clear. Mm. So it's very important. Anyway, we will go through it here now. So Vach and Vachakam. I have rendered the later as verbal expression. Means Vidwan Gaurang is saying, meaning that which is expressed verbally through sounds, and the former as verbally expressible, meaning the person who is being referred to by the verbal expression. So the verbal expression is expressed verbally through sounds, and the verbally expressible, that is Vachya, is the person. Like, there is a person in front of us. His name is, say, Krishna only. So I call, Krishna, please come. So that is Vachya. But that person, Krishna, is also incarnated in the form of the syllables. So when I'm calling him, that is Vachaka. So verbal expression and verbally expressible. Verbally expressible is Vachya, and verbal expression is uh, uh, verbally expressible is Vachya and verbal expression is Vachaka. The personality of Lord Krishna is verbally expressible. That's what the point I made. While the holy name of the personality of Lord Krishna is verbal expression. The verbally expression is the holy name, Nama. In this edition, I have rendered the verbally expressible as the holy named, meaning the person referred to by the holy name, Nami. So Nam and Nami, this comes up in the Padma Puran verse. Abhinnatvam Nama Nami. So, uh, Nami is Krishna. Nam is, Krishna in the form of sound incarnation. I hope this is very clear. Okay, further, there is an important footnote. As will be clarified in a later footnote, we learn from Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti's Madhura Kadamani that the Seva Apradhs referred to here are those who have been committed unknowingly, not knowingly, on the strength of the chanting of the holy name. Now, this will come up a little later. Don't worry about it. Uh, uh, this is with respect to in the verse. In the verse, it is said, yes, tasmin vihit aparada nivaha. If you have committed a lot of offenses, to whom? Vachya. That is, Krishna in the form of Archa Vigraha is not different from Krishna. So while serving Krishna in the form of Archa Vigraha, we might commit some offenses which fall in the category of Seva Aparadh. So even if somebody commits Seva Aparadh knowingly, sorry, unknowingly, unknowingly, there might be offenses, then the solution in the Madhurya Kadamni is that we take shelter of Namaprad. Sorry, you take shelter of chanting of the holy names. Now, again, here it is very important to note that if we have the mentality that, I'll not be conscious while doing the seva and commit offense, because anyway, I'll take shelter of Nam and, become free from that seva aparadh. If you have that mentality, then which offense is that? Anyone knows? Yes, Birendra Yadav Guruji.
હું નામનો બલાત પાપ બુદ્ધિ.
Namno balate, yes, papa buddhi, yes. So I'll commit sin and I'll take shelter of the holy name. So I'll commit seva aparadhs and anyway, I'll eradicate them by chanting Nam. So if one has committed a lot of aparadhs also unknowingly, seva aparadhs, but the holy name is so merciful, you can take shelter of it and it will immerse you in bliss. That's the point. Okay. I hope the footnote is clear. And if you have any questions, you are always free to raise your hands. So let us now go to the commentary of Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan. He Nama, O holy name, Bhavatas Tava Vacham Vachakam iti Swarup Dvayam Udeti Chakasti. Two forms of your lordship shine in existence, the verbally expressible and the verbal expression. Vacha, Vachakam. Vacha is the verbally expressible and Vachakam is verbal expression. Just try to drive it and put it in your, it becomes difficult sometimes. Nama, Nami. Nami is Vacha and Nam is Vachakam. Okay. Vacham Vibhu Chaitanya Anandatmako Vigraha Para Isha. Para Isha has become Paresha. The verbally expressible is the all-pervading form of consciousness and bliss, the Supreme Lord. Vacham is the Supreme Lord. He is Chaitanya Anandatmako Vigra, Para Isha, which has become Paresha. Vachakam Krishna Govindeti Adiko Varna Prachaya. The verbal expression is the collection of letters such as Krishna and Govind. They are collection of letters. These are the Varnas. They are Vachakam. Tatra Purvasmad Vacha Tadrika Vigrahat Param Eva Tadrik Varna Prachaya Rupam Vachakam Eva Vayam Karunam Janimah. Among them, among the two, Vacha and Vachakam, we know that the later is what? Vachakam. The verbal expression is in the form of collection of letters as mentioned above, is more compassionate than the former, that is the verbal expression, as the form of the Lord mentioned above. Okay. Kuta iti che tatraha yah prani tasmin vachya sarupe samantad vihit aparada nivaha krita apacharah vrindo bhavet so pidam vachaka swarupam अस्येनो पास्य मुखेन उच्चार्य विनष्ट तन निवह सन सद आनंदाम्बुदो भगव form in every manner. Vacha swarupe samantad vihit aparada nivaha. Having worshipped, that is, having uttered with his mouth this verbal expression, so pidam vachaka swarupa asya upasya mukain ucharana. His offenses have been destroyed. Vinashtatan nivaha. Immerses in an ocean of spiritual bliss. San sad anandambudo. Bhagavat prema sukha. That is the happy Godhead. he becomes spiritually successful. Krita artho bhavati iti. Artha means he attains his goal. He becomes successful. So this is the glory of the holy name. Now, Baldev Vidyabhushan gives two references to prove his statement. The first is from, I think, the Vishnu Yamala, which is quoted in the Hari Bhakti Vilas. Mama namani lokesmin shraddhayayastu kirtayet tasya parada kotistu shamameva na samshaya iti smaranat. This is the meaning because of the Smriti text. Iti smaranats. The Smriti text speak this. But there is no doubt, na samshaya, that I certainly forgave Shama, Shamamya, Eva, the millions of offenses committed by him. Tasya aprada kotistu, who would utter yes to kirtayet with faith, Shraddhaya, my holy names, Mama Namani, in this world, Lokesmin. So here the point is very, very important in this verse, with faith. We have to utter the holy name with faith, even if we have committed millions of offenses, but again, not intentionally, unknowingly, many offenses are committed, but we are very cautious not to commit offense, but knowingly, unknowingly, at least unknowingly, if we have committed offense, all this will be taken care by the Lord. And with faith, we chant, Krishna will immerse us, in nectar. There is no doubt. There is no doubt about it. And Krishna will forgive. This statement of the Supreme Personality of Godhead this statement of the Supreme Personality of Godhead from Vishnu Yamal is quoted in Hari Bhakti Vilas. What does faith in this context mean? What is faith in this context? Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes in his introduction to Harinam Chintamani about the nature of persons who take shelter of the holy name with faith. He says, now this is from the Harinam Chintamani. Sadhana bhakti yata prakarache tan madhe ekmatra namashraye sarva siddhi hoy ehi rupa yanadhar vishwastahar sarvottama sadhaka. Those who have faith that among all items of sadhana bhakti yata prakarache tan madhe, taking exclusive shelter of the holy name yields all perfection. Ekmatra naam ashray sarv siddhi hoy are the best sadhakas. One who has such faith, Vishwas, Tahar Sarvottam Sadhaka. So here, one who has this faith that Tara Madhe Sarvashresht, Nama Sankirtan, Niraprada Namalay, Pai Premadhan. One who has this faith and he takes shelter of the holy name, he is the best. He is the sadhaka who is having faith. So this is the explanation of faith. Such a devotee has firm faith in Lord Chaitanya's statement in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madlila 15:107. Navavidaha bhakti purna nama hoite hoy. One can complete the 9 processes of devotional service simply by chanting the holy name. So this is his faith. So this is, this is the qualification. This is the qualifier here. Shraddhaya, one who has faith. Faith means he has this kind of faith. As such, a devotee does not commit seva aprad on the strength of the chanting of the holy names of the Lord, as noted by Srila Vishnacharya Thakur in his Madhurya Kadamini. This will be detailed in a later footnote. So later again, a footnote will come about this. Later further explanation will come. So when you have this kind of faith and you take complete shelter of the name, because you have taken such shelter of the name, you will be cautious and careful while doing the seva not to commit offense. But unknowingly you commit offense, the Lord will forgive us. Not only that, he will immerse that person who is taken shelter of Krishna in the form of this varna, in the form of these letters like Govinda Krishna, into deep spiritual ecstasy. Nama naminayor advayam tu. The non-difference of the holy name and the holy name is because of the Smriti text. Now, which text is Baldev Vidyabhushan going to quote? Anyone has any idea? Any guess? Which text will he quote? That they are non-different. Nama Nami. Anyone knows? Raise your hands. Any idea? There is one hand raised. I would like to ask others. Tirthpat Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandatam.
Yes.
Is it Nami Abhinatvam too?
Yes, yes. You should not hesitate. Yes, that is the verse. That is the verse. That is the verse. नाम चिंतामणि कृष्णश्चैतन्य रस विग्रह पूर्ण शुद्धो नित्य मुक्तो अभिन्नत्वाम नाम नामिन भिन्नत्वाम it is because there is a while reciting it should be, but actually when you break it is abhinnatvam. There is no difference. The holy name Nama is the transcendental blissful giver of all spiritual benediction. Chintamani, not material benedictions. Please remember, Nama is Chintamani. And it gives benedictions. So one who wants to take actually the complete benedictions of Nam, he should be free from all material desires. And then, it will fulfill all the spiritual desires. Non-different from Krishna's, the form of all transcendental mellows, Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha, complete, Purna, pure without material contamination, Shuddha, and eternally liberated, Nitya Mukto. Due to the holy name and the person who has that name not being non-different from each other. Abhinnatvam Nama Namino. So this is the verse, very, very famous from the Padma Puran. Okay. Note, from the Padma Puran quoted in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, 1733, the translation is based on Srila Prabhupada's synonyms. So this is quoted from the Padma Puran, but the actual reference is taken from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Okay, so two verses he gives and he completes that explanation. I just want to make one more point in this context. Another work, Sachinandan Maharaj mentions that Krishna in the form of Paramatma as a person, he's there in the heart, but he's covered. He's covered now because of the covering of Maya in the form of modes. Now, Krishna, although being in the heart, is not manifest. So Krishna doesn't remove this covering. Krishna in the form of name, when one chants the name, that name enters. And that name enters the heart, cleanses the heart, and then the person Krishna who is there in the heart will manifest. So Krishna doesn't clean the heart. Vidunoti Surit Satam. Krishna is saying that in the verse, but it is Krishna in the form of his incarnation, sound incarnation in the form of holy name. So actually, Chaito Darpan Marjanam, we say, Darpan, Chaito Darpan Marjanam. Marjanam means Mandir Marjanam, cleansing. We take a broomstick and cleanse the temple, right? So similarly, Krishna cleanses the heart, sweeps the heart himself through his all compassionate incarnation in the form of the holy name. Whereas Krishna as a person might not do that because Krishna is Ishwar. He's the Bhokta, he's the enjoyer. But Nam is so merciful that Nam takes that task of doing the sweeping of our, and that is how compassionate is Nam. So that's what is being brought out here by even Rupa Goswami in this text. So any questions you have with respect to what we have discussed in Baldev Vidyabhushan's commentary? Okay, 1 second. I need to change the internet connection because yes, it was Swati Kulkarni. Yes, Maharaj. Yes,
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Kanvatsana. Am I
ye-
audible?
yes.
Prabhuji, the thing that you explained just now, that Nam cleanses our heart, it happens at the Namabha stage, right?
Pardon, again, come again. Can you speak a little clearly, distinctly, and loudly?
Am I audible, Prabhuji?
Yes.
You just now explained that the Nam is so merciful that it cleanses our heart. So it happens at the Namabha stage, right?
It happens at the Namaba stage. Well, when we start chanting the holy names, the cleansing process starts.
Okay.
Definitely it starts. It's not that, at the Namaba assembly it starts. The cleansing process starts, but at least, our sinful propensities, we start becoming human beings, following the four regular principles. We are able to give up our habits. So that all, sometimes alcoholics, drug addicts, um, are battling throughout their life, victims of these addictions. And somebody just starts chanting and he's able to give up so easily. Why? How much potent is the holy name? So in the beginning of the chanting also, this happens. It purges all these impressions. But yes, definitely, to make advancement, one should chant very focusedly, without committing offenses. And then he can realize the spiritual nature. That happens at the advanced stage. Is it okay?
Yes, yes, Prabhuji, thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Right. Yes. Virendra Yadav, you had a question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Just
Yes,
one
Prabhuji.
clarification.
Yes.
Uh, we said Nam is more merciful than Nami. Now, Prabhu, Krishna has different names. So my question is, all the names has same potency, or is there any gradation?
Oh, that will come up. Again, there are the primary names. Sri Harinam Chintamani means, makes this distinction, and there are the secondary names. The primary names are, Govinda, Hari, Krishna, Gopijana Vallabha, and all these names which Rupa Goswami in text 5 mentioned. The secondary names are connected to his pastime of creation, Paramatma, Jagdishwar, like that. So by taking shelter of the primary names, there is more potency because they are directly in relation to Krishna. So there are, Lord has incarnated in unlimited names. And all have these gradations in the potency based on whether you take the primary or the secondary names. Okay?
All right, thank you.
Okay, okay. So let's now go to Bhaktivinoda Thakur's explanation, which is called as a Namastaka 6. But first he makes some point. हे नाम, holy name, तुम्हारा वाच्य और वाचक भेद द्वितीय स्वरूप उदित हयाचे. Two forms of you distinguished as verbally expressible and verbal expression are manifest. Okay, now let us see how many of you have understood. Verbally expressible is what? Vachya or vachaka? Raise your hands. Let us see. We might get confused with it, so that's why. Yes, Shrishti Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. It is Vachya Prabhuji.
Verbally expressible is what?
Vachya.
Watch. Watch means actually what, actually?
Vachya is uh, Vachya is the Harinam.
No.
No, Vachaka is
Which
the
is
Harinam. Vachya is the Krishna form.
Krishna, the person.
Yes.
Yeah, yes, yes. So the other becomes verbal expression is Krishna, who is incarnated in the form of these syllables, varnas. Okay. Yes, very good. I'm very happy that you are able to catch this.
Thank you.
Tathapi amara nishchay janiyache a. We know for certain that the form of verbal expression is more compassionate than the form of the verbal expressible. वाच्य स्वरूप होते वाचक स्वरूप अधिकतर करुणामय ए हेतु तुम्हारा वाच्य स्वरूप जीव अपराध होयो वाचक स्वरूपेर उच्चारण द्वारा उपासना करत सदानंद समुद्र संपूर्ण रूपे निमज्जित हन. By worshipping you, by uttering the form of the verbally expressed, he becomes completely immersed in the ocean of the spiritual bliss. So this is, in one sense, this is the entire translation of the verse in Bengali, the Namastaka verse. And then now he begins his Namastaka bhajan. Vacho vachaka dui swarupa tumar, Vacha tava Shri Vigrah Chidanandakar. You have two forms, Vach and Vachaka, the verbally expressible and the verbal expression. The verbally expressible is your sacred form, a form of knowledge and bliss. Sacred form is the translation of Shri Vigrah, which conventionally refers to the worshipable deity form of the Lord. So it is Shri Vigrah. Now, further note, it should be understood that just as the transcendental form of the Lord perceivable by the spiritual senses of the Lord's associates in the spiritual world descends to this world as a deity form perceivable by the material senses for the neophyte deities in the material world in order to help them progress in Krishna consciousness. The transcendental holy name of the Lord, pronounceable by the spiritual tongue of the Lord's associates in the spiritual world. Now, please mark this point. The transcendental holy name of the Lord, pronounceable by the spiritual tongue. So we need the spiritual tongue to actually pronounce the name. But here in the material, and the Lord's associates are all having spiritual bodies, so they pronounce that. And they are in the spiritual. Descends in this world as the holy name pronounceable by the material tongue. By the material tongue of the neophyte deities. In order to gradually progress. So how does now this material tongue gradually get spiritualized? By gradually taking the name and Krishna Prasad. And when the tongue gets spiritualized completely, that means the tongue doesn't vibrate any other material sound and the tongue doesn't taste any other material taste. It only takes Krishna Prasad. And then from the soul's spiritual tongue, the name will come because the soul has developed. And that name will get vibrated on the tongue, which has become spiritualized. And then Krishna manifest. Spurtevada. That is the manifestation. I hope this point is clear. However, we should constantly remember that the deity form and the holy name in this world are both Satchidananda in nature, though they appear to act materially. So here this concept is very important. Krishna is there in the spiritual world. He descends and he's seen by the spiritual senses. He descends in this material world in the form of a Archa Vigar. That's why it is called as the Archa Vigar avatar, which is perceivable by the material senses for the neophytes. And Krishna in the form of holy name descends. They chant their names with spiritual senses, spiritual tongue. That same descends in the form of Nam Avatar, and it is chanted by the material tongue of the devotees, and they gradually progress. So both the deity is spiritual, the name is spiritual. Srila Prabhupada has remarked in the Padma Puran, it is said, Archa Vishnu Shilar Dhir Gurushu Narmatnir Vaishnava Jati Buddhir Vishnur Va Vaishnavanam Kali Mala Manthena Pad Tirte Ambu Buddhi Shri Vishnur Namni Mantra Sakala Kalaso He Shabda Samanya Buddhir Vishnu Sarveshwareshe Tad Itara Samadhir Yasya Va Naraki Saha. No one should consider deity in the temple to be made of stone or wood. Archa Vishnu Shiladhir Gurushu. No one should consider the spiritual master an ordinary human being. Gurushu Narmatir. No one should consider Vaishnava to belong to a particular caste or creed. Vaishnava Jati Buddhir. And no one should consider Charnamrit or Ganga waters to be like ordinary water. Kali Mala Matanena Pada Tirtha Ambu Buddhi. Tirtha Buddhi, as in the Bhagavatam is there. Nor anyone should consider the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra to be material vibration. See Vishnur Namni. Namni is, the holy named mantra. Sakala Kalosho He Shabda Samanya Buddhi. Vishnu Sarveshwara Tad Itara Samadhir Yasyata Narakisa. All these expansions of Krishna in the material world are simply demonstrations of the Lord's mercy and willingness to give facility to his devotee who are engaged in his devotional service within the material world. Chaitanya Charitamrit. This is there in 20 to 117 purport. Vachaka Swarupa Tava Shri Krishna Dinam Varna Rupi Sarva Jiva Ananda Vishram. So the Vachaka Swarup, the verbal expression, is your holy name, such as Krishna in the form of letters, the blissful refuge of all living entities. Ehidu Swarupa Tava Ananta Prakash Dayakari Deha Jiva Tomara Vilas. Your unlimited manifestations, Ananta Prakash, in these two forms, mercifully bestow your pastimes to the living entities. Kintu Janiyache Nath Vachaka Swarup Vachapeksha Dayamay Ehi Aparup. But I know, Jani, Achi, O Lord, Nath, it is again Sambodhan, that the verbal expression is more merciful than the verbally expressible. This is extraordinary. Aparup, Vachaka Peksha Dayamay, Vachaka Swarup, Vachaka Swarup, Vachaka Peksha Dayamay. नाम नामी भेद नहीं वेदेर वचन तबु नाम नामी हयते अधिक करुणा. The Vedic statements affirm that there is no difference between the holy name and the holy named. Nama, Nami. Nami and Nam. Again, I want to know how much the devotees have clearly understood. So, Nam and Nami. What is Nami here? Anyone? What does Nami here mean? Radha Jeevan Prabhuji. Radha Jeevan Prabhuji, yes. Yes, Radha Jeevan Prabhu. Yes, we are not able to hear you. You have to unmute yourself. No response. Swati Kulkarni Mataji. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Nami is Vachya, the verbal expression.
And it refers to whom?
Krishna.
Yes, excellent. So Nam is Vachaka. It is verbally expressible. Yes. Still, the holy name is more compassionate than the holy named. Okay. Krishna Paradi Adi Name Shraddha Kari Prana Bhari Dake Nama Rama Krishna Hari If a non-offender unto Lord Krishna with faith and with all his life force calls out the holy names Rama, Krishna, Hari, the offenses go far away and easily floats in the ocean of happiness. That is the ocean of rasa. Oh, there is no translation of the second line. Somehow, I think while putting it in the slides, I'll just read Aparadha Duraya, having offended the form of the Supreme Lord, Anand Sagara Bhasi He Anayas Rasera Patar, the verbally expressible by taking the shelter of the holy name, I cross the reactions of those offenses. Vikra Swarupa Vache Aparadha Kari, Shuddha Naam Ashray Se Aparadha Tari. I think some more, I need to check where exactly. Yeah, correct. I think this is a complete translation because Aparadha Duraya, the offenses go far away. He easily floats in the ocean of happiness. Ananda Sagare, that is the ocean of rasa. Bhase se anayas rasera patara. Okay, this is full translation. Having offended the form of the Supreme Lord, Vigra Sarupa Vacha Aparadakari, the verbally expressible, by taking shelter of the pure holy name, Shuddha Naam Ashray, say Aparatare, I can cross over the reactions of those offenses. Now here again, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is making it still more clear, the Shuddha Naam Ashray. So ultimately the offenses what we have committed while doing seva of the Archa Vigraha, that is offenses committed to Vacha, their aparadhs also get eradicated gradually by taking deep shelter of the holy name. And especially, this is called as Bhakti Utta Anartha. Bhakti Utta Anartha, and Madhuri Kadamni mentions that anarthas arising out of bhakti. While performance of bhakti, there are certain offenses which might be happened. So they also get completely eradicated as we more take shelter of the pure holy name. Bhakti Vinod Mage Shri Rupa Charane Vachaka Swarupa Name Rati Anukshana. He asks for Vachak, not Vach. Bhakti Vinod begs at the lotus feet of Shri Rupa Goswami. Bhakti Vinod Mage Shri Rupa Charane for attraction to the holy name. Namarati, the form of the verbal expression at every moment. Vachaka, verbal expression. Verbally expressible is Vacha. Vachaka and Vacha. I think you'll meditate on this today a lot. Okay. So text 7, we will take up next time. Any questions and clarifications? Any questions you have? Bhaktivinoda Thakur's bhajan, Namastaka bhajan is very, very simple. There was some footnote. No. Yes. It's already. So no questions. Okay, there are two questions. Okay. Ravikant Prabhuji. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, my
Yes.
question is spiritual tongue when it vibrates.
Can you be a very clearly speak so that I can hear clearly? Speak very clearly
Prabhuji,
and distinctly.
the explanation about the spiritual tongue when it is pronounced the holy name spiritually and it transform into the material tongue and
No. You're getting confused. Please remember, first is the eternal associates of the Lord in the spiritual world have spiritual bodies and their tongue is also spiritual. And when they are taking that name is fully manifest because their tongue is spiritual. Now, the Lord is completely spiritual in the spiritual world, but he incarnates in the form of Archa Vigra Avatar. That is a deity, but the deity is made of material elements. Although it is made of material elements, it is completely spiritual. First thing. Now that same, Just like Krishna in the spiritual world has descended in the form of deity, Krishna is descended in the form of Nam avatar. That is completely spiritual. Now we have material tongue. That is because of our disease, avidya. And when we start taking the name, we are taking with the material tongue. But even while taking with the material tongue, what will happen? We will gradually make advancement and the tongue will get spiritualized. And when the tongue gets completely spiritualized, then the name will manifest. Otherwise, when we are taking Nam, it is not Nam. Maybe it is Namaprad most of the times, or Namabhas, the reflection of the name, because still the covering of the soul is there in the form of anarthas and aparads, which, that's why the full potency of the holy name doesn't manifest. So that's the point being made. I hope it is clear.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Okay. Abhishek Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes.
As it's mentioned, it's elaborated also that Nam is more merciful than the Nami. So just request you to just summarize also in so that we're able to understand it more nicely.
Well, we have made it clear about Nama and Nami in this verse of Namastaka with Baldev Dabhushan's commentary and with Bhaktivinoda Thakur's song also. It's very clear. So what I would suggest, and I thought about it, and maybe because you're requesting, we need to continuously meditate when we chant the holy names. I had made a point also that I used to regularly recite the Padma Puran verse before I start. Nama Chintamani Chaitanya Rasa Vigra Nitya Mukto Purna Shuddho Abhinnatvam Nami Nami Nama Nami. That we become conscious that Krishna is incarnated in the form of this Nam, and there is no difference between Nam and Nami, so that we don't commit offense in our chanting. If we take care, then the Nama Tattva will slowly manifest in the heart. And we should more try to understand this Padma Puran verse. And here, of course, Baldev Devbhushan has quoted, but elsewhere, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, when he discusses about the 10 offenses, there he goes into a lot detail about this Padma Puran verse and gives the Nama Tattva there. So the more we understand this verse of the Padma Puran, and the more we practically apply it, the reason we are not attentive in our chanting is that we don't realize that Krishna has come in front of us in the form of his name. And that's why we don't put our 100% attention in the name, and we put our attention even for a moment to something else, which is an offense. So the more we meditate on this Padma Puran verse and apply it, then we will relish the Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. We are deeply diseased. The avidya disease is very deep. But that jaundice, the patient has to take the sugar candy. It doesn't taste well. But if he kintu adarat anudinam. Adarat means with a lot of care, caution, carefulness. When we chant the holy name, with this understanding of this tattva, then you will start relishing rasa. Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. You'll start relishing. Then you know that there is no difference between the name and the name. That is the Namabha stage. And Namabha stage is a very advanced stage. And we have to cross the Namaprad stage. So that is why we need to meditate on this. I hope this is satisfactory for you as of now.
Ji Prabhu, thank you very much.
Yeah. Last question, Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Bhakti, you can correct me because I want to know this. Bhakti Bhaktitva Anarthas, there is Nam, Dham, Seva, and Vaishnava Aparadh. Is it?
No, 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 no. Bhakti anarthas are the anarthas which manifest because of the practice of bhakti. So the bhakti anga is chanting the holy names. So you're doing these practices of bhakti, but you commit aparadh, inattention while chanting. So then, because of these bhakti practices, there are anarthas which are generated. Then there is, Archa Vigra Seva. Archanam is one of the angas of bhakti. So while doing Archana, if you commit aparadh, then it becomes Seva aparadh. So these are all the anarthas because of the practice of bhakti which manifest. So these also have to be eradicated. Okay.
Okay. And what is the basic difference, just in short, between Anarthas and Aparadh? Any basic difference, literally also and otherwise also?
No, there is a lot of difference between anarthas and aparadhs. Time doesn't permit us here to go into, but aparadh is offense. And anarthas are, misgivings which are there in the heart. And these misgivings are, again, because of misconceptions, misperceptions about reality, and, doubts, so many things. So, as far as I understand, anarthas is a more having a wide spectrum of understanding, but aparadh is very specific, and both can fit in one compartment, but yes, there is distinction also.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Yes, thank you very, very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Namastak ki jai. Shri Rupa Goswami Pad ki jai. Hare Krishna.